What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today I want to wish you all a happy 5th of July. Hopefully your 4th of July celebration and day off went swimmingly. I hope you had a fantastic holiday and ate some fantastic food with family, friends, and enjoyed the fireworks of the evening. But today is July 5th, and today is the deadline, or was the deadline, for UPS to present their last best offer to UPS. To the Teamsters. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the negotiation. So let's see what happened. The Teamsters tweeted out at 4:33 in the morning. After marathon sessions, UPS negotiations collapse. Around 4 a.m., UPS walked away from the bargaining table after presenting an unacceptable offer to the Teamsters that did not address members' needs. The UPS Teamsters National Negotiating Committee unanimously rejected the package. So what happens next? That's the question for me. It goes on. Following marathon negotiations, UPS refused to give the Teamsters a last, best, and final offer, telling the union the company had nothing more to give. This multi-billion-dollar corporation has plenty to give American workers. They just don't want to, said Teamsters General President Sean M. O'Brien. UPS had a choice to make, and they have clearly chosen to go down the wrong road. Now, Sean O'Brien, if you'll remember from our previous videos, is a reformer candidate who won the job after the Teamsters enacted one member, one vote. That's how he got into office. And he basically promised to fight for the membership tooth and nail for everything they deserve. He's living up to the promises made. But we have to see how this turns out. If this negotiating tactic that is tried and true and as old as time works, then it will signal to other big legacy unions that the time is ripe to fight back and pull back the profits that have been stolen from working people since the 1970s to the tune of $50 trillion. The more billionaires that are created, the more the theft continues. The more working class folks get thrown into abject poverty. And that's what's happening. That's kind of, things are unfolding as they were designed to unfold so long ago. Anywho, let's go on. The UPS Teamsters contract covering more than 340,000 full and part-time workers expires on July 31st. No additional negotiations are scheduled. That means they're basically in a holding pattern until the end of the month. Unless the UPS team calls and says, hey, we got a better deal for you, can we sit back down? It seems like the Teamsters are like, we're done talking. The Teamsters have repeatedly made clear that UPS members will not work beyond the expiration of the current contract. In June, rank and file UPS Teamsters authorized a strike by an overwhelming 97%. They have the backing of the membership. That is for sure. Let's see what the latest and greatest is. And here we have up to an hour ago. Teamsters are honored to have the support of our UFCW siblings. Our members deserve the pay raises, benefits, and better working conditions that reflects their hard work, and they are ready to launch the biggest single employer strike in U.S. history to lift up all workers. You ever read read about the past and thought, what would you have done if that time were now? We're on the cusp of some extraordinary times, and it all depends on which way the cookie's gonna fall. You know, which way it's gonna land. But working people we're right back to where we were in the 1900s when we were ready to go to the wire to get what was ours and what was deserved. We thank Speaker Pelosi for speaking out in support of UPS Teamsters. Our members are in the fight of their lives for the strong contract they have earned. Teamsters put in the hard work and sacrifice to make UPS its billions, and they deserve to be treated accordingly. They retweeted Speaker Pelosi. Unions are the backbone of our middle class and America's working families. I proudly stand with the 340,000 Teamsters at UPS who are exercising their right to organize. Their tireless work keeps our economy moving, and they deserve dignity, respect, and a fair contract. Well, at least Pelosi will give you lip service. I don't see any of the GOP representatives giving any lip service to the workers. At least Pelosi does it. UFCW stands in solidarity with the 340,000 Teamsters who work hard and put their lives at risk during the pandemic to keep the delivery giant running, doubling its profits. It's time for UPS to reward workers, respect the Teamsters, and pay up. That's a very good point by the UFCW. We got to keep in mind that these companies jacked up their prices, their rates, and they got PPP loans forgiven, and they got a lot of money during the pandemic while workers were still putting in the work. Thank you, Rep. Mike Lawler, for speaking out in support of the 340,000 UPS Teamsters who keep supply chains moving and who deserve a fair share of the profits they've generated. This is about all workers in America getting a fair deal. Let's see what he said. The UPS Teamsters worked through tumultuous weather and braved a global pandemic to deliver. They deserve a fair contract and a fair shake. I'm hopeful that this dispute will be resolved expeditiously and in the best interest of all. Now, push come to shove, I believe that everybody who's, all these politicians that are speaking out, if it comes to disrupting the supply chain, will in fact side with the corporation over the workers. Just because of my experience last time around with the railway workers, supply chain came up and they were like, nope, sorry. It was all, do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing. Then they got to the line and it was like, well, are we going to let this happen? No, we're not going to let this happen. Nope. And they stopped it. So there's that. Stay tuned. There's that. But it's still, like I said, at least they give you lip service. I don't hear no lip service from the right. We thank Eric Sorensen for standing in solidarity with the UPS Teamsters, drawing a line in the sand against corporate greed. And he wrote, I stand with the UPS workers, the Teamsters, fighting for better wages and safer conditions. Big corporations rake in record profits. Workers deserve their fair share for moving our economy forward. Another politician. Oh, here's another big one that we got to think about, because remember that UPS is a two-tiered pay system. They got the seasoned veterans that get paid high rates, and then they have a second tier of workers. And I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but it's a two-tiered system that this negotiating team is trying to get rid of. At UPS and in the US, part-time poverty doesn't work. Receiving near minimum wage in many parts of the country, part-time workers at UPS are the most at risk in the company's workforce of being exploited and cast aside. Without disclosing details, UPS corporate PR machine claims its offer to part-time workers was honorable. But knowing what it knows about the sacrifices and struggles of part-time workers, UPS is only prepared to honor its own balance sheet. This is straight from the Teamsters. The company would be wise to remember that just 25 days remain until the contract expiration. There's no agreement reached by July 31st. Big Brown will learn just how much its workers are really worth. Man, I love this energy. This is the type of energy all unions need. Part-time workers get screwed over, taken advantage, and this reminds me of our workers in my local union. Probably CE and CW in other parts of the country, but in my local, it reminds me of our workers. It's like a two-tiered system. It's something that I'm not happy about. I don't like it. Part-time workers get screwed over, taken advantage of, and forgotten about. The Teamsters union must put an end to this once and for all at UPS. If the company's pattern of exploitation doesn't end now, it never will. And on and on and on. And I cannot wait to see how this turns out. I hope that they get the contract that they deserve after putting up the type of fight that needs to be put up. And if it requires standing in solidarity and not going to work, I hope they're willing to do it, and we see what the outcome will be. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Don't forget, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take class solidarity to win always. Peace.